So, hello, Frank. Nice to see you. Can you tell us like a few words about yourself, maybe for the doctors who don't know you, even if you are like really famous on Instagram and Facebook? And let's start from here.
So, first of all, thanks so much for inviting me to your interview. So, you said we just have to pretend to be sitting somewhere in a bar and totally relaxed, which is maybe in the beginning a little bit difficult, but I think we will get into that. So, actually, to talk about my story actually brings us to the moment where we also met. So, because it's a little bit about my journey, my profession. And to go back a little bit in time, if you allow me,
Please.
I started actually with something totally different. So during my dentistry studies, I knew already I want to become a surgeon. So the operation and surgical stuff, I was quite interested in that. I was at several places, also university clinic, and we did a lot of GBR procedures and with bone substitutes. And then I had the first failures. I was asking then colleagues what else we could do. I was reading about autogenous bone, and they said, you can do this with blocks, and there is somebody, his name is Curry, but it's very dangerous because there's the nerve, you can cut the nerve, and it's very painful for the patient. And after this information, I didn't feel really encouraged to go for that way. So this time I didn't know where I will be maybe 10 years ahead or later. So I was a little bit scared about this information. So I went further to do GBR with bone substitutes and so on. But then I had two situations which made me think again. And which was and maybe some of you or you also have this experience when it comes to your good friends or your family members. Suddenly 60 or 70% success rate are not enough anymore. So
We
I
want
think you know
something close to 100%. Yeah.
exactly 99% is not enough anymore. So you're thinking differently. Maybe you're also treating maybe your mother or your daughter differently when you're in such a situation than a normal patient maybe. And it was actually a vertical defect caused from periimplantitis from implants my father, who is also dentist, placed 35 years ago. And my tools were only these bone substitutes. And from my experience, I didn't have these predictable results with GBR. And that was actually the first situation which made me think again. And the second was a little bit, I can even afterwards, now I can call it like an eye opener. It was actually a young woman, maybe 22 student. I was working those times in a like implant factory. So they placed there more than 100 implants. It was always the same protocol. So if they were able to get primary stability for the implant, they always did the implant placement and the bone augmentation simultaneously. So covered all the threads then with the bone substitutes membrane, and sometimes it worked, sometimes not. Actually, nobody cared so much in this clinic unfortunately about the patients. It was like a big money machine. And also this young woman was treated with this procedure. It failed in a horrible way, big recession. She lost all the bone substitutes. And I felt very sorry for her. And to be honest, I also blamed my former boss doing this to this young woman. I didn't say it, but I felt like, how could he do this to this young woman? But afterwards, I understood that this is not fair to blame somebody, because I didn't know those times how to do it better. So I didn't know which more predictable concept I could use. And then it was maybe a little bit like fate, destiny, that it was first time on the biggest congress in Germany that I met Professor Curry. I saw first time his concept, and it was just overwhelming. It was like not real. I saw cases starting from minus something, and he could really treat this, and the case afterwards looked so fantastic. And it was really very spontaneous that during the coffee break of this congress, I went to Professor Curie and said, it's so fantastic, your cases. May I send you my documents? And I really got then a place in his clinic. I stayed there almost 4 years, was also senior physician in his clinic. And afterwards, 2012, I went into the practice of my father. I made it bigger and changed the concept also to this more implantology and so on. And since 2012, I'm in my own clinic. And then I also started to do lectures. And over the years, I went more and more into also online marketing. So I joined master classes, and also my friends, some of them, they are not dentists. They are really very big in the online business. So I learned about social media and all that. And I'm a little bit proud of myself to be maybe one of the first, or maybe the first, who really pushed these techniques, which were not so popular those times. I started really strong 2017 with the Real Bone Builders Facebook group, and to create more awareness worldwide for these wonderful techniques, because the industry, the companies are not pushing it because they are making the money with the bone substitutes. There is no sponsor behind. And usually a dentist has not the time. And when I look now on social media 3 years later, I think it's already much bigger and much more awareness, and much more people are having wonderful results with these actually cost-free materials, which is the patient's own bone. And this is a little bit my mission. I'm feeling to be on this mission to spread it even more.
Sounds great, Frank. Sounds great. I think this is your path, let's say, because I recognize your, let's say, enthusiasm. I recognize that you are like a real bone builder, and I think real bone builders became like a movement, like a real movement in the last, let's say, 2 years since I follow you. And looks great. How was your journey at the beginning? Because I think it was not easy, because there are a lot of colleagues who are, let's say, using different approaches. And your, let's say, bone augmentation approach is ideal, but still many colleagues are, let's say, thinking differently, and they are thinking this is not like a really friendly approach. So what was your journey? How is it now? Maybe how do you see it in the future?
So I absolutely agree. So when I remember maybe my first posts, and when I posted my cases, there were a lot of critics. So many said, is that working? Or blogs, this is old school, or nobody's doing this anymore. Today we have these bottles or whatever.
So this was like 2017? 15? Okay.
And then I started this group, Real Bone Builders Facebook group, and I just put there so many cases that you cannot deny it anymore. So I think that was the thing. So first we had a lot of critics, but maybe during a half a year, all the critics became more quiet and more quiet, because you cannot deny it if you see the bone, how you augment it, and then you see it after opening. Because in many procedures or techniques or materials, you see the closure, but never how it looks when you reopen. And when we reopen our cases after just 4 months, what you see is real bone. I think this really convinced then most of the colleagues, and this is also why we grew so much. We are having now 15,000 members, people or colleagues, the Real Bone Builders Facebook group. And 1 year later, I started with Instagram. So colleagues of mine, they told me Instagram is the new Facebook. There we are even growing even faster. So we have now more than 22,000 followers. And just yesterday, we had another 100 colleagues follow us. So it's really growing fast.
Great.
And meanwhile, that's the interesting thing. Most of the cases are not even my cases anymore, but cases from former students or from colleagues who are having amazing results. And I'm so proud of them. And I can only I encourage them to also share their cases and to spread this concept even more.
Okay. So Frank, do you think maybe because 2020 it was like different, and all of us, we stay much at home, and we were focused on this online maybe courses and online social media. Do you think that helped, or do you think last year was different in let's say this way? How this impact your, let's say, mission and your work?
So I don't know if this really helped those who are having a strict offline business. So when you're like we do, or a normal dentist is selling offline services. So we are not selling a product, we are selling a service. I think we all had to struggle with the lockdown, and that the patients were scared and we had less patients and so on. But I learned, or I started to teach myself, or to learn a lot about how to grow a business over the last maybe 10 to 15 years. So I'm reading a lot of books, how to run or how to implement or to create your business. And one of the definitions in a real business is that you are not self-employed. That means that you're not trading your time against money, that you are not always the person who is with your hands has to earn the money, but that you are creating systems. And in that moment, when you're stepping from self-employed doctor to becoming an entrepreneur or a business owner, creating a system, this can also be a clinic, and that you're delegating things, and that you're working on also again the online marketing, that you're creating more traffic, that you're creating more conversion. For example, what means conversion? I think some colleagues do not really understand what is the difference, or what does it mean exactly. So this means we are dependent either from recommendations from patient to others, so that they are telling in their circles, this was a very good doctor, so Dr. Cheaper, so he's placing the best implants of the world, go there and they will follow. But this is slow. So this is a very important part. But I can really, and this is really one of the messages I want to give here, to encourage dentists all the colleagues, that this is not enough to place good implants. So as much as I like it, but it's not enough. You have to become, if you want to take this step, to become a real entrepreneur. That means you have to work on your business, not only in your business, in the mouth of the patient. So that means also you have to learn these new things, because we didn't learn it in university, and this takes time. And this is maybe the most important message. We have to organize our business in our clinic that way that we have still enough time to learn and to grow in these things which make an entrepreneur.
Sounds great, Frank. So if I understand correctly, you were focused mainly on the, let's say, clinician work for a couple of years, but nowadays
Exactly.
you are focused even on the business part of the, let's say, our domain. Do you have like a special program or something for our colleagues? Maybe you support them in some way. Can you tell me?
So indeed. So this step, what I just said, I did this step from self-employed to entrepreneur or business owner in my clinic. But I think it's important also nowadays to create maybe more cash flows or more. So we have this German saying, it's better to stand on 2 or 3 legs than on 1 leg. So if you have like if you're earning your money only from, for example, your clinic, and for example there is a pandemic situation, and let's say there is a full lockdown, then you have a serious problem. So it's always good to have other cash flows. This can be real estates, this can be consulting or anything else. So I really want to encourage colleagues to look maybe for other sources to earn money. And this is actually the time you can learn that, but it takes time. It's very time consuming. And to answer your question, so I was, for example, always giving lectures, courses, congresses, and so on. But now travels went to zero. So because we cannot travel, so it's not possible anymore. So what I had to do was actually changing the way I teach. And in the startup language, it's called pivoting. So that means you're changing your direction. And some of you might know this saying, survival of the fittest. And so the fittest nowadays are not the biggest. The fittest are actually the most fastest, who can really change according to the environment.
Flexible.
Exactly. So I was really working hard the last year, 2020, to put all these content we were actually teaching in our offline courses. We created like a premium online content, and we are calling this now masterclasses. But it's not only the video content, which is more than 35 hours. It's also a support via live calls, so via Zoom, like we are talking now. So to the individual situation. So because when you're going to a course and the first case comes, or the first patient, then it's very individual, and there are always individual questions to the anatomical situation and so on. And we are supporting now via these Zoom live calls, and we are having this every week with now many colleagues to go into the individual situation and to discuss these cases in advance. And this is, besides my clinic, actually my second leg, you can call it, what we are also offering. So the homepage, for those of you who are interested, it's myimplantbusiness.com. It's one word, myimplantbusiness.com, and you can apply there for a free consulting session, and my team will then reach out for you, and we will explain you what kind of masterclass fits to you, and then you can choose. And the third leg, we can say, is actually but don't misunderstand it now, created new technologies. And it's a little bit, how can I say, under the radar. I can't say too much. I can just say that we are soon launching these new technologies, which will simplify the bone augmentation part. So because still to harvest a block and to do this bone augmentation, it's quite time consuming and also not so easy. But very soon we will publish actually a new way how to harvest the block or how to augment it. And but first, these new techniques will only be available for our masterclass students.
Yeah.
So you're not getting bored. There are many things to do.
So some questions just pop into my mind. So let's say, Frank, I'm a doctor. Let's say I learn your technique. Let's say I did a few cases, but still I'm not so comfortable. Can I, if I understand correctly, if I go to some of your online lectures, let's say, and learn, after that, can I call you and ask you, like via Zoom, like a specific question, maybe like a specific case where I have some question or maybe some trouble, regarding the case? I understand correctly? Is it like real?
Exactly the idea, or this is of how we are already doing it. For example, yesterday we had like a group call, and it was today is Thursday, yesterday was Wednesday. So 3 hours, and we discussed many cases. And the good thing is that I am learning in each call. So because meanwhile, the colleagues who are joining this masterclass, they are top-level surgeons. So not only beginners, so some have never done a block, but some are very experienced. So we can learn from each other. Some are, for example, very good in immediate implant placement. I don't know so much about immediate implant placement, so I'm learning from that. And we are exchanging. And this is actually the magical part, which I was missing last year when we could not do the offline courses, because there was the same in every group. It's such a fantastic exchange, not only in the classroom, but maybe also at the dinner or in at the lunchtime. You're exchanging ideas, and all are same minded. They have all the same drive and energy, and this exchange is fantastic.
Yeah, sounds great. So Frank, do you have like basic groups, maybe more advanced? Is it like this? Okay.
Yeah, we are having several master classes. So but in detail they get explained in this free consulting session, and then you can choose your master class if it's more like basic or advanced. It also depends on what level you are, and then we give you the personal path to succeed in the most fast way.
Okay. So this is like the new world. This is 2021. Our colleagues, they say this, let's say new year, it will be more online study, maybe some offline, we'll see. But how is it like 2021 what's your vision on this year? And maybe what do you think it will be the opportunities? And maybe if you have some, let's say, good advices for our colleagues or maybe good approaches, we are here to listen.
I absolutely think I'm, how could I say, helpless positive thinking. So whatever happens in the situation, I always see the good things.
You will always find a way.
We have to. I think this is what I meant, this pivoting, we have to adapt. And the smart people in this world who will always be successful, they adapt and they learn. We have to be like a sponge. And when we feel stuck and just complaining and saying, oh, it's all the bad, we have to find ways. And nowadays we have so much opportunities. This is unbelievable. So I think the positive thing in this in this pandemic situation was that many people, they are forced to step into this digital world. So though before these opportunities were already existent, but I think most did not take advantage from it. And now when you are forced, I think those people or those colleagues should not see it like a as a negative thing that they have to change now the way, but see it as a positive thing and take advantage from it. I always read a lot of books. I'm exchanging with inspirational persons like you. I mean, I remember in Bucharest these fantastic talks we had. We were talking about Tony Robbins. We were talking about, I remember when you told me, ask the right questions. And then you will also find the right answers in you. And all these things, I think there are so many good books. For example, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When you have now a little bit more time, you should not do nothing. Use the time and grow and find ways, work, for example, on your website. Another very important message I had to learn the hard way was that I did not really understand what means delegating. I was thinking delegating means, oh, wonderful, I have no idea, somebody else is doing it. That's not delegating. So I had to get my ass kicked several times from my friends who are really big now in online business, because I said, oh, that's wonderful. I can give these things to maybe an agency. They can do maybe the marketing and the online marketing and the social media and everything. That's wrong. That's not the way how you should do it. You should read the right literature, and maybe also do an online course and so on. You have to invest. So for the good things, you have to invest. Some people might think, oh, this is all on YouTube. No, it's not. So if you want to speed up and want to get like a condensed good content, because like I said before, the most valuable thing for us is time. Mm-hmm. And to get to use this time most sensible, you have to get to good content and use the time then.
Okay. If I may, if I pay for a course, let's say I just sign in to your masterclass, yes? If it's free, is it maybe okay? I just learn and it's like a relaxed mode. But if I pay, if maybe it's like a sum of money, let's see, which is important for me. If I pay you, let's say, to learn from you, I know that I will be really, really involved in the. Sometimes if the information, is it on YouTube or let's say social media, and is it free? If it's free, for me, maybe it's not so important, and I will not pay so much attention. Maybe it's just me, but I think everyone is the same in this category.
Exactly, I absolutely agree. So you're not committed when you're not investing in something. For example, I became good. For example, I told you I was investing in a masterclass how to learn this online marketing, and this online this masterclass cost. Guess for 1 year? Guess how much this cost?
I'm sure that it's like a really big figure.
So 36,000 euro. So for 1 year.
Wow.
So
Frank Zastrow is still paying for his education. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now I know how do you do it.
But you see now what I got out of it. I was able then to create this reach. So I was able then to build this Real Bone Builders Facebook group. I was able to reach so many people to fill my courses. So I got this money like many times back. So
sure.
That's what I mean. So you have to invest in something to grow and to get to the next level.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree. You're not paying anything, so you're not committed, and you probably will not take any effort to learn that, because you say it's free. It has no value.
Yeah, may I ask you something? So until now, you were learning like you are like a self-educated guy, or you had like mentors, or you how do you approach the self-development, the education in dentistry? What do you think it was the best approach for you?
So that's a very good question. And for those who are watching now, I think that's really interesting. Probably you have another way. We all have a different journey like the others. So I had that way that in my life, I got a lot of impulses from mentors or like from friends, because the way itself, you have to go yourself. So a good friend who maybe reached something in his area, or he should be maybe on the same level or something, and he's giving you a good advice, for example, a book. This is really so precious. You should take this impulse, and the book you have to read yourself. So you cannot think that the other mentor is
read it for you.
So listen to impulses from people who are where you want to come or where you want to get. So, for example, of course, in any field. So when I was at Professor Curry, for example, in his clinic, so I learned the technical stuff. So how to do the bone blocks and the plates and everything. And like I said, in this masterclass, I met people from whom I learned a lot about online, this world. And I invested like, I don't know how many hundreds of hours in that. And but this makes you standing out from the crowd. So you have to stand out from the crowd. You have to learn how to position yourself, okay? as a real expert in your field. You have to find it's called a unique selling proposition, USP. What makes you special? What makes you standing out in your city from all the other doctors who are maybe also advertising and offering an all-on-4 concept or whatever. It's very important to learn these things and also how to sell. This is also another point. The guy from the movie Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. So also selling. So I know that many dentists are saying, oh, selling is so bad and I don't want to sell anything. I just want to help people. That's also nice.
We have to reframe it. And this
exactly.
Is it.
Exactly. That's the point. It's very important. In the end, you need all these skills. And by the way, this is also, we are not only teaching in our master classes the techniques like how to harvest a block or how to screw it. We are also teaching about these things, about the mindset, how to sell. So because they are also, it's like a lot of skills you have to train, a lot of tools you have to know to sell your wonderful product or service. Because if you're not able to sell, or your team not able to sell, then you won't find customers and you cannot grow again.
Okay, sounds great. Frank, do you think maybe in the next year or maybe in the next years will be several programs or maybe some other programs like yours, or maybe other groups like, let's say, GBR group, Real Bone Builder group? Do you think will be like many groups, many online programs? How a dentist who's, let's say, is like a beginner, how can he choose like a good product or a good education? Can you help me maybe with an answer?
So I don't know if I can find here an advice how to choose the best course, because it's like a patient. The patient, it's hard for a patient to find the perfect doctor, because those who are doing maybe the best advertisement are not the best in the technical stuff. I think if I look for somebody, when I want to go for a course, I look very careful if these are only words, or if this person has really the skills. Because if somebody is just talking about something but not showing that they are really able to do these things that they are teaching, that's important. It has to be authentic. So those persons who are teaching something, they have really to live this life, what they are teaching. And authenticity, I think this is maybe most important thing. And also kind of persistence. So when I see some of the teachers and they are doing something, for example, Professor Curry, my former mentor, so who is really staying strict with this concept over decades, this really convinces me, because there are so many who are changing like every 5 years, the methods, the materials. And in my opinion, this is not serious because they can never be able to handle the complications. They don't know the long-term results. They know nothing, because they are always changing the systems, maybe the implant system, the materials, the membranes, maybe where is the most money. And like I said before, in our technique, for example, there is no sponsor behind. And this makes it also maybe more trustable and more authentic, because it's really, like you say, maybe you also feel it. I'm really passionate about this, and I think you have to be on fire yourself to ignite other people.
Yeah. Frank, what books are you reading right now? Because you were talking so much about books, and I think maybe the guys back home, maybe they want to know.
So in fact, the books I'm reading now are not the books who maybe those should read who are just starting with these techniques. Because right now I'm really in, for example, CRM systems, customer relationship management systems. We are working now with Salesforce, because when you're creating a business, again, you have to, or if you're creating a system, it's really important that you structure it from the right beginning. And for this, you need, for example, these softwares. And again, it's not the way to delegate it. You have to understand it yourself. And then in the next step, you can delegate a part, but you always have to control it and to have a look over it. And these are the things that I'm reading now. But for those who are, so maybe one tip.
Just a second. Let me show you. So this is a book.
Of course, wonderful book. I also have it, and I definitely recommend also the online course from Thomas. We are also good friends, and we are supporting ourselves.
Yeah, this is another one. It calls Mind Shift. Yes.
What's the author?
Barbara Oakley. Just let's say.
So maybe for those who are starting, I can say the book.
Let's say 5 a.m. Club, Robin Sharma. I have Tony Robbins books and so many.
So you can actually never read enough books, because you will see after a while that the messages repeat, but you always read things in a slightly different perspective. Sometimes exactly it takes 1,000 times that you read something, and first the 1,000, and you're nodding there, probably you totally understand what I mean. The 1,000th time you really understand what is meant with it. This is the first thing. And the second thing is, it's like you showed us the book. It's a mindset thing, and mindset is also something you can lose again. It's like when you're, for example, you start playing tennis. So you have maybe some training lessons, and you do this maybe 1 year, and then you don't do it for 5 years. What do you think? How good will you be if you start playing again?
So we have to train like every day.
You have to keep your mind exactly in this mindset, because there's a big risk that you get pulled or tracked into the mindset of other people. And sometimes your environment is not same educated and has other belief patterns. Now we are coming to NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is also fantastic, interesting. So I think we could talk probably one day about all these topics. So for those who are not knowing about this, it's created from Richard Bandler and John Grinder. I was also reading a lot of books and went to seminars. This made me also growing a lot. Neuro-linguistic programming, in the first step, you learn how you're functioning, how you're seeing the world with all your, not only seeing, but how you perceive the world with all your senses. In the end of this first step, you learn how to modulate yourself, that you're always in a special mindset again. I think we can use it again, state. Or like a belief pattern. Exactly. For example, in a positive state. So when you really learn about these methods, you cannot never be like pessimistic or thinking negative. And in the next level, you're learning to understand your opposite. And because it comes from a therapeutical approach, you're also learning maybe to help your opposite to go into a direction. So, and then of course we are
Frank, you are great. So I have many books, but I have, let's say, not so many hours during the day. So it's better for me to come, let's say, to you or someone like you, but I don't know anyone else, just to learn from you, because you already are trained in this, let's say, so many domains. Maybe how we approach the patients, how we have like a great mindset to overcome maybe challenges, maybe this time, maybe this year, how we'll approach in a predictable way the surgical procedures. Yeah,
exactly.
Sounds great.
So that would be fantastic. So for those of maybe the colleagues who really want to know more, you can just go on myimplantbusiness.com and choose the free consulting session. My team will reach out for you and will tell you again what we offer and what is right for you, and then we come together, hopefully. And also for those of you who are on Instagram, please tag me there. Dr. Frank Zastrow, just my name, and or join the Real Bone Builders Facebook group. So meanwhile, we are, and it's all connected, and it's a wonderful world. And
it's a small
hopefully,
world. This, let's say, dentistry online world, it's like a really, really small world. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes it's also a strange, but meanwhile normal way. So I met some people. I think we also met before online, and when we finally met personally, it's like you're meeting a friend you're having already you know already since a long time. So this is maybe the approach nowadays. But via Zoom, for example, I think now I just read about holograms. I think that's the next big thing in communication.
Maybe 2022. Maybe next year.
Yeah. So many companies are working on that, like in Star Wars, you know, the small figures.
Yeah.
And you can
so Frank, I just wanted to ask you like 2 more questions, and this is it. May I ask you, what are you grateful for, maybe right now, or maybe for the lessons that you learned last year? What are you grateful for?
So grateful for what I learned last year. So like I said, my whole life is actually shifted in that way that I try always to see chances, and I think that was really a big test for everybody. And actually, I'm grateful that I changed my mind that way, that I saw it as a big chance and not as a big disaster. Only it is a big disaster. Many people are dying. I think we don't have. We all know that, but that should not stop us from going to the next level. And I'm glad that I fulfilled this test, let's say, or passed this test.
Sounds great. And the last question: what are you enthusiastic for? Let's say right now, or maybe for 2021.
So of course I have big projects ahead. So it's also, this is the thing I learned from many books, and I think many inspiring people like Elon Musk. I'm a big Elon Musk fan. Who wants to fly to Mars?
No, he's crazy. You're not.
Your goals should be maybe not realistic. They should be big, because the idea is that you don't lose them out of your sight. So if you have a long-term goal, maybe for replacing GBR by biological bone augmentation, might be. You don't want to lose that path by all the small obstacles that occur, because all the time you're having obstacles, and you have to go around, you have to go through, or whatever. You have to find ways, and never lose actually your visions. And maybe also another thing I learned, what helped me was that I wrote, and I think also this is done by many who have a lot of visions. It should be all written down. So for example, I'm using Evernote, but there are also other programs. And since 10 years, I'm writing the things down and go over it again and again. Also
like a journaling also, maybe.
Exactly, reminding myself always what are my priorities, and that I never lose them out of my sight. Actually, these are the things which I'm looking for. Big projects ahead, and I hope I will
Frank,
reach them.
One more thing. I know I said it's the last question. I lied. This is the last question. What's your vision with your mission and everything else?
Business life or overall?
No, overall.
Overall, so
but first, at the beginning, you told me that you feel like you have a mission. What's your vision for your mission?
So actually, I think you can say it in very few simple words. I want to give the patients the best treatment, which is, in my opinion, possible. And in my opinion, to work with the patient own bone, to give them implants, to give them a smile back, and soon with a very simplified and non-invasive method. I think this is the goal I'm fighting for.
Great. And what's your vision for your business? Because in your business, you are working mainly, if I understood correctly, with dentists or doctors, which is something else. They are not patients. What's your vision for, let's say, your business?
So I think it's all connected, like I said before, because at the same time when I'm wishing the patients worldwide the best treatment, I cannot do it myself. So in fact, I need help from these wonderful methods. Will join us and will go this way or this journey with us. And this is actually my goal or my vision for my business. And we have many cool ideas on the way, unique things, but is coming soon.
Frank, this is the last question. In this moment, do you have like a mentor, like, or someone to model, on your, let's say, business, or maybe on your path?
So I would say I have mentors, but in the way that they became already friends. So because we are actually meanwhile learning from each other, and there is the day when the student becomes master, something like this, and I think to have like to be equal with other colleagues, and you have your strengths, other have or also your weaknesses, and to learn from each other. I think that's the best thing, and I'm also very grateful to be friends with you, because I think this is a kind of mentorship. So we cannot say who is the mentor. Are you the mentor? I am the mentor. No, we are kind of mentoring.
You are, of course. It's easy for us.
But we are both becoming stronger together. I think this is the important thing, to surround yourself with those people who are positive, who are maybe a little bit crazy because they are thinking they have
outside the box. Yeah.
And what I also learned, and you know that the safe way and doing great things never comes, unfortunately, together. So you have to take risk. You have to do something which is maybe against the crowd, against the way all the others go, and only then you can do something outstanding. But when you go only the safe way and staying in your comfort zone, you will never
leave. Actually, you will never leave. You will maybe pay your bills, have some patience, but at the end of the day, this is the life juice.
In the end of your life, you will only regret the things you didn't do or the chances you did not take. And I think when some people are really very old and maybe it's too late to do something gorgeous or something great, I think they wished they would have done something which is maybe a little bit more crazy, a little bit more risky, to become the best themselves they can be. This actually also which drives me. I want to reach my full potential, and I think some are a little bit stuck and though their potential to reach something extraordinary is there. And I really want to encourage those people to live their full potential. But by this, you have to learn. It's a lifelong learning. So because if you don't know about your chances from other people, from books, from seminars, from whatever, you don't know what is actually possible.
Yeah, but Frank, this comes often, maybe with some pain and maybe some let's say challenges, and if our colleagues want to go on your path, maybe they had some complication, or maybe they are afraid, or maybe they think someone will try to sell them something. What will be, let's say, one thing that you want to tell them, or maybe one message that do you think is the most important for them to maybe change their life in 2021, maybe step up or step out of their comfort zone, and maybe take some risks, or maybe let's say in the end pay some money to be with someone who worked a lot and works still to become like a better clinician, better man, and maybe a better human being?
So yeah, I have actually one citation. I created it myself. Once I also wrote it on Instagram, because I really live my life after that. And I also have it as a screensaver to remind me always myself on that. All the answers are in you, as long as you feed your mind with knowledge and give it the time to let it arise. What do I mean with that? All answers are in you, and I have to remind myself every day, because we always think there is a shortcut. Somebody might know it, but no, in the end, you can only 100% trust yourself, and you should also take the responsibility for everything yourself, and you have to take the decision yourself. But it only comes when you're, like I said, when you're doing lifelong learning. So if you're not having, like you, so many books in mind, or if you not always grow and talk with the right people, but instead maybe just watching TV, drinking, and talking with your friends how shitty life is, okay, then you cannot go ahead. So all answers are in you. Trust yourself. I know this is a long process, so some have not this trust in themselves, especially when they are younger, but work on that. All the answers are in you, as long as you feed your mind with knowledge and give it the time to let it arise. What do I mean with that? All answers are in you, and I have to remind myself every day, because we always think there is a shortcut. Somebody might know it, but no, in the end, you can only 100% trust yourself, and you should also take the responsibility for everything yourself, and you have to take the decision yourself. From outside, you just get the impulses, and this is actually altogether
amazing.
My
amazing.
Yeah, my advice to you. Yeah,
amazing. Thank you so much, Frank. Thank you so much. It was amazing. Yeah. Where do I sign in? Where do I sign in for your masterclass?
On myimplantbusiness.com, go on free consulting session, and just fill in the form after the small short video, and it would be super to welcome you. If you have any other question, also contact me just on Instagram. Just leave me there a direct message, And so it's filling up now. Soon I will also publish these new technologies. I think then it will be very crowded in this masterclass. So take the advantage from now, because now we are still a medium big group, so 20 people. But soon probably it will grow much more, and take advantage from that.
Thank you so much, Frank. Thank you so much. It was amazing.
I enjoyed a lot.
Yes, so that was it.
But still, with all this online stuff, I hope I can, see
meet
you
you in person. Yeah, me too.
Or
when
meet
will
in
be
Dubai somewhere.
Yes. When will be your next offline course, or maybe?
So we will switch now more or less completely to these master classes, because the theory or the content, it's more than 35 hours content. I don't have to stand there in front of the class and say blah, 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 because it's all in the online class or in this online content. And I learned all that about via repetition. So you're becoming good via repetition or via trauma. So for this masterclass, I chose repetition. So you have to look over it and over it again. I'm not smarter than you or the others in these techniques. I just saw the lecture from Professor Curry 100 times, because every week on the course, he showed the same lecture. And again and again, you will see more details. And this is actually how you should learn. But additionally, we will offer also workshops, hands-on workshops. So, but only the workshop. Either we will send the materials, also the new technology, and also maybe some of have seen already the screw sets and everything. So we can do it online together, or we might do these workshops also offline. But if the pandemic situation lets us do that, but overall it's only available in our masterclass. So this is actually the new big masterpiece we created, and only then it makes sense.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bogdan, thank you so much.
Have a great evening. Yeah, and see you soon.
See you soon. Take care. All the best.
It was amazing. Bye. Have a great evening.
Bye, Bogdan.
Bye.